This is the Polished Business Podcast, where we discuss everything business, boss, and books. My name is Kimberly Beadle, and I am a registered BAS agent here in Australia, a certified bookkeeper, and I have a BA in psychology. And I am absolutely obsessed with supporting businesses and their success. I'm excited to introduce you all to positive mental health coach Jodie Cooper. She's going to share with us her expertise today. Jodie, can you tell us a little bit about what you do?
Hey, Kimberly. Thanks for having me here today. I'm super excited. And I guess in terms of what I do, I've developed a positive mental health program for professionals because most people don't really think how important their mental health is to their business, but actually it's a game changer.
Absolutely. And thank you so much for doing what you do, because I know I worked with so many business owners that they're just alone, isolated, and just spiraling with different things. And it's so important to have somebody in your industry to lean on as needed, or always, really.
Absolutely.
Can you share with us what your credentials are and your overall background in this space?
Yeah, awesome. Thanks, Kimberly. I actually started 20 years ago coaching, which feels like a very long time now. And it was the start of coaching. So it was a very unknown field. I quickly fell in love with positive psychology. So got a diploma in positive psychology and then a master's. And over the years have really enjoyed working with professionals most, and so have built this positive mental health program to speak to the issues that really most professionals show up with and just give them kind of the tools and mindset to shape what they want to create in their life.
Wonderful. Well, I'll start off with our question framework. So first up, what do you love about your job?
Well, probably the first thing is diversity. So I get to work with lots of different people. And unlike sticking to one industry, sometimes I can work with an accounting professional. Sometimes I might be working with a truck driver. And it's really cool to hear these stories, but also understand that the work that I do in helping people get their head back in the game, it crosses industry boundaries. And so I love that every day is different. Sometimes I might be presenting to a corporate team, and then sometimes I might just be working one-on-one with people. There's lots to do. It's different. I love the research side of it. Everything I do is based on the science of positive psychology. Taking that deep research, but then making it applicable to professionals is really cool. How do I get people to understand it, lean into it, and then use it in their own life?
Absolutely. Do you find that across all these different industries, even though they're so different, there's so many similarities about what people keep going through?
Yeah, 100%. So most people that start working with me, just recognizing that they're overthinking, they get stuck in their head. And because of that, they're underperforming. So they're missing things that they should be getting right. A guy that I worked with recently said, I can't believe the difference it's made. Normally, I would just stew on this for 3 days, being cranky and disengaged. But I walked outside, I dealt with it, I got back to my desk, and I just jumped back in. And so that's the game changer that I'm talking about. And the way that I've developed the program, so I call it a program now, is actually helping people understand first the role of their thoughts and emotions, because we don't get taught that, right? We get taught algebra at school.
Yeah.
We don't get taught how to unpack what to do when we're feeling angry or anxious or disappointed. And then how, if we don't deal with it, it can really show up in unproductive ways at work.
100%. And you said positive psychology. Is there a quick definition or summary of what that is?
Absolutely. So if you think of traditional psychology, generally that works around diagnosing and then treating mental illness. Positive psychology is a flip side. We work on understanding how to help individuals, organizations, and then entire communities thrive and reach their potential. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Would positive psychology be about preventing the problem?
Yep. We are a very proactive approach to mental health. The science now gives us this beautiful understanding. I've got a master's in positive psychology. In terms of the depth of understanding of how to create positive mental health, we're not flying blind. We know what we need to do and we know how to do it. So this is the work that I do, is bringing that to life for professionals.
getting the tools to be proactive and avoid certain situations. But if you're already in the situation, because it is psychology, it's still figure out the tools to get out of whatever you're already into. Does
Yeah.
that sound accurate?
Yes, and so much of what we do is about understanding the impact of our perspective. In terms of my program, awareness and focus is really the biggest piece, because most of our mental health comes down to, are we aware of what we're doing with our focus?
And is the answer we're not?
Really speaking.
Spoiler, we're not aware.
If your phone's in your pocket or you're watching Netflix, there's a really good chance that you're not actually aware of your own thoughts and emotions. And that's not good or bad, right? That's just a take on modern society. It's how we're living.
There's a reason that you're out there.
Yeah.
There's so many people that need that assistance. What about your profession? Does not many people realize that you can help with?
Look, I think probably it's the head game. Most people in business, more than we admit, are actually stuck with the head game. And it might be the self-belief. It might be the imposter syndrome. It could be actually gluing your butt to the chair and doing what you need to do, like that self-discipline. So I think in business, if people feel like they can reach out to an accountant or they can reach out to a lawyer, but in terms of their mental health, that's the core of what I do. It's actually helping people in that space, which makes everything else easier.
Yeah, it's very foundational, because if you have that right, then when you do reach out your accountant or do reach out to anyone else, you've got everything set up correctly. But if you're already kind of stewing and having a bit of a storm on behind the scenes, then everything else is just going to be harder.
Yeah, that's right. And that's where the average person now is under a fair amount of stress. It didn't used to be like that. I've been doing this for 20 years, Kimberly. So even the last couple of years, I've noticed there's a seismic shift to the amount of pressure that the average person is under. Before, it was kind of unusual to be stressed, whereas now most people are stressed more often than they're not. And that's really shifting. We're seeing it in the mental health statistics that are coming out. It's not pretty.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but grateful again that there's people like you going, hey, I can help. You're not alone.
And look, I think the shift in thinking for business people is, rather than waiting until they're burnt out and crying and rocking in a corner or throwing their laptop out the window, we can actually be proactive about this stuff. And this is a preventative approach, right? You're saying, how do we build the mindset and the skills so that we can create positive mental health, which makes everything else in my business easier?
That would be wonderful. I think for every single client I've ever had. How about, what is the most common mistake that you see business owners make?
I think people at the moment are feeling like, because they're so busy, they have to glue their butt to the chair and just do the thing because that's what productivity means. And we get caught up in this cycle of feeling growth. I mean, growth is the current paradigm that we're living in. So we want to be going faster, better, earning more, doing more, getting more clients. And it's exhausting. So many people that I see they're frazzled because often their own expectations are just unfair and unrealistic.
Yeah.
It's not even other people's expectations. It's their own expectations of themselves. And you couple that with, normal societal stress and perhaps a habit of overthinking. It gets really complex, but it can also get really messy quite quickly.
And it sounds like I've kind of touched on it already, but again, everybody goes through it at some point.
Yeah.
Everybody does. And it's not something to be shy about if you're recognizing this is where you're going in your world. It's just you have the option to reach out for support, and that's okay.
Yeah. And look, the way that I bring science to it is really simple elements. Like, our brain has a negativity bias. And so when people understand that the human brain pays 3 times more attention to a negative invention or emotion than it does to a positive, you can start to understand why your brain does this. And so instead of stewing and vacillating over the negative, you can start to step back and go, that's a brain thing. how do I refocus? What would be more valuable right now? And that's kind of the mindset and skill set that I talk about. Most people don't ever give themselves credit for what they have achieved, what they've done, the strengths they're bringing every day, how they show up. They're just noticing what they haven't done or what they should have finished yesterday. So that creates this really negative spiral. A lot of the work that I do is helping people just regain a different perspective.
Yeah, no, I am a big believer of that perspective. We have in our online platform, we have all these tools and better whatever they're doing in their business. But then we have these kind of fun certificates. So these milestones to reach. And then when you get a certificate and hooray, and you get a little email automated to you, like, and it seems kind of like, okay, I'm sure some people will be like, okay, great, why? But also, you deserve somebody. And I'm a big cheerleader. And everybody that knows me knows that I'm the one at Business Awards clapping away like crazy, like, you did it! Or if you let me know you completed something you want to do, I'm there cheering you on. Or if you have an event, yeah. I think we don't do it enough congratulating ourselves about whatever it is that's going on. And I love what you said too about the expectations. Like, I saw something recently where it was saying, who set those expectations? Just get rid of them. You don't need any. Or you can set reasonable ones for yourself, or however you probably go about it better. You don't need to live by those expectations. Just do your thing.
Yeah.
So, what do you wish every business owner would consider or understand in relation to the kind of services that you provide?
Yeah, I think people's mental health and well-being, like, keep in mind, I've been doing it for 20 years, right? It falls off the side of the desk. It's the nice to do when I've got a little bit left in my budget. It's the afterthought of what am I going to do with my team when we do this staff development day? But it should actually be core, because your mental health, how you feel and what you're thinking, shapes how you show up every single moment of every single day in your business. If you're not paying attention to your well-being, it doesn't work. You can't expect yourself to follow the marketing plan. You can't expect yourself to stay on budget. If you're feeling overwhelmed, stressed, strung out, frustrated a lot of the time in your business, you are not going to create a business that's thriving. It doesn't work. It's functionally impossible. For the average professional to start really respecting how important their well-being is in terms of their business success.
Oh, I think that's paramount. And people, I think, also need to give themselves the pass and the acknowledgement that it's so beneficial to actually put attention to your mental health and take that step back and do something about it. You're not only allowed to, but like you said, it will improve your business.
Yeah.
Guaranteed. I mean, It's hard to put a guarantee on anything in this life, but I think that's a guarantee. If your mental health is improved, your business will improve.
Yeah.
Do you think that's pretty accurate?
100%. And there's like PricewaterhouseCoopers did some really cool research on this, and people that invest in staff well-being see massive financial payoffs in the business.
So do you do that as well, where you're not only just helping necessarily the business owner with their personal situation, but go and assist teams as well, or assist the business owner in assisting their team with that, getting that mindset and positive mental health set for them?
Yep, both. So I work with individuals, but then I'll also go into organizations, and sometimes it might be one team that needs support. Sometimes it might be a whole organization. And then it's just a bespoke in terms of what really is the focus. Like at the moment, I'm working with a team that wanted to uncover what their values are, and so how they work together. And then the next session I'm doing with them tomorrow actually is around relationship skills and communication. If we can show up well, then we can live the organization's values. We can shape that together, and then we can communicate. Like if we can navigate what's going on for us, then we can support our team. We can be more collaborative. We can be more open, engaged, kind. Everything works better.
And if your team has all those skills, then they're just going to be, they're at the forefront of your business, trucking along and going towards the success. So if they've got the skills too, gosh, nothing can get in your way.
There's enough problems, right? Life is always, particularly in business, there's always going to be a curly problem or lights exploding in the background, for example.
Yeah. I had an issue earlier, was telling Jodie about. We're all good now. But yes, absolutely. But if you can deal with the lights exploding with positive mentality and good communication and the comfort of supporting yourself and your team, then it's okay. It's a lot easier to handle.
That's it. And the way that I often describe it is, imagine that you've got a baseline of, your well-being. And when the good things happen, you move up a little. And when the bad things happen, you move down a little. The work that I do in the program is really helping people to improve that baseline. So the good things in life are still going to happen to you, and the bad things in life are still going to happen to you. We can't change that. But as we start to change and shift your perspective and how you show up, when good things happen, they get amplified and you share them and you can really savor and soak them up. When the bad things happen, you bring a different perspective to it, but you're also much more resourceful. So it doesn't take you down like it used to. So we're literally lifting that baseline of, where you're operating on a day-to-day basis.
It sounds like it's also like building muscle to be able to handle those difficult situations. And it is a muscle, really.
Yeah.
It's supporting you.
Yeah. I often talk about positive mental health like that. If you want to train your body, you go to the gym. But if you want to sharpen your mind and become happier, more engaged, more focused, then what do you do? And well, that's where positive mental health sits.
Absolutely. Oh, that's so vital for everyone. Do you have one more tip or piece of advice you'd like to share?
Look, I think when people start to be more discerning with their focus, for me, that's where I've seen the biggest game change. Understanding that the brain does have a negativity bias, so we'll go there first. But when we become aware of what are we focusing on, and is this actually helping me either become a better person, become a better parent, be a better business owner, or is it derailing me? When we just gently check that within ourselves, that focus question, what am I focusing on and is it helping me or not? It creates a shift because that awareness is the start of a pivot point.
That's so beautiful. That's great. That's powerful, really. All right. Well, thank you so much for giving us all of that information. I know this is going to provide so much clarity and confidence and direction for new business owners, established business owners, anyone that is just trying to achieve their dreams and their teams. So thank you very much for that. You've given us so much information of extreme value. I really appreciate your time. I know how valuable it is, and thank you. Really appreciate it. If anybody that's listening has more questions or they'd like to reach out, what are the best ways to find you?
Yeah, probably I'm a little bit old school, so probably the website, just jodiecooper.com.au. There's some cool resources on there, but I'd love to hear from anybody that listened to the podcast and got something from it.
Absolutely. Would you say, is there a contact form on the website or is there an email address that it tells us to reach to you?
Yeah, it's got all the contact details there.
Got it. Perfect. Well, thank you so much, Jodie. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you so much for your time. And I hope everybody got so much out of that, as I know you would have. Thank you. And we'll see you next time.
Thanks, Kimberly.
Thank you for listening to another episode of the Polished Business Podcast. Check out all our episodes for valuable information for the business boss and books. To apply to be a guest or stay connected, follow Polished Business on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok, and YouTube. Don't forget to join the Polished Business platform for free support or one of our paid tiers. All the best in your business journey.